Welcome, dear traveler of the night. You've arrived. You are here, now, and that, truly, is enough, more than enough. There is nowhere else you need to be. In this moment, no one else you need to become. No task awaits. No effort is required. Only this moment, this quiet breath, this sacred space opening between the stars, within you and all around you, a sanctuary just for you. Tonight, we will wander together through midnight reflections, soft landscapes woven from thought and feeling and stillness. We will be guided, perhaps, by the gentle lamps of ancient wisdom, quiet insights that have echoed through centuries, offering comfort, perspective, peace. We will drift through the quiet architecture of dreams, the spaces between sleep and waking, where the conscious mind softens and the deeper self listens most intently. And perhaps, just perhaps, along this gentle journey, deep into the night, deep into rest, you may begin to discover, or maybe simply remember, something profoundly true. That self-doubt, that familiar shadow, that heavy cloak you sometimes carry is not a solid wall blocking your way. Perhaps it is only a mist, a gentle fog born of old thoughts, past echoes, future worries, a mist that seems substantial yet has no true solidity, a mist that parts, that dissolves simply by walking through it with gentle awareness, with quiet breath. You don't have to do anything tonight. Truly, simply allow yourself to be, to rest, to receive. Let these words, the soundscape, the silence, wash over you like a gentle tide. Your only task, if you choose to accept one, is to allow, to soften, to surrender into the deep comfort that awaits you here. For a deeper experience, you may wish to slow the rhythm just a touch. From the settings gear in lower corner, perhaps adjust the speed to 0.85 and let time soften. And if this gentle journey, this quiet space of reflection, has brought you comfort, perhaps you might feel moved to support this space. A simple gesture, a soft whisper into the universe. By subscribing or leaving a like, you help this sanctuary grow, reach others who might also need a place to rest, only if it feels right, only if it flows naturally. Your support is deeply felt, deeply appreciated. And so, let us begin that surrender, that softening, perhaps starting with the breath, simply noticing this faithful rhythm that breathes you without any effort on your part, feeling the gentle rise of the inhale, perhaps cool air entering, bringing stillness, and the slow, soft release of the exhale, warm air, leaving, carrying away tension, worry, the echoes of the day, letting them go. Now, allowing the breath to slow just a little, finding a rhythm that feels deeply calming, deeply restful, slow and soft and easy. And as the breath slows, perhaps you might notice a sense of heaviness beginning to bloom within the body, a comforting weight like the feeling of sinking into the softest bed, the warmest embrace. Feel this gentle heaviness in your feet, releasing, letting go, floating upwards into your ankles, your calves, heavy, warm, deeply relaxed, knees softening, thighs releasing, completely surrendering their weight to the surface beneath you, held securely. Slower now, The feeling drifts into your hips, your pelvis, a deep settling, a profound letting go in this core part of your being, softening the belly, allowing the breath to move deeply, easily, without restriction. Softer, still, the wave of relaxation flows up into your chest, softening around your heart, creating space, openness, peace, melting down through your shoulders, releasing burdens, anxieties, letting them dissolve down through your arms, elbows, wrists, hands, fingers, arms heavy, limp, utterly, peacefully, at rest. Slower, even slower, releasing the neck, the throat, softening the jaw, letting the tongue rest gently, cheeks softening, the tiny muscles around your eyes, letting go, forehead smoothing out like calm water, releasing all expression, all effort, scalp relaxing, your entire body now bathed in this profound, heavy, peaceful relaxation, sinking deeper, softer, slower, letting go more and more with each gentle breath out, down, down into perfect stillness, perfect peace. And as you sink deeper into this profound quiet, this inner stillness, allow your awareness to gently shape a landscape, a place for our midnight reflections. Perhaps you find yourself standing softly, or perhaps lying comfortably beneath an immense starlit sky, a deep indigo velvet stretching infinitely above, pierced by countless points of diamond light, ancient suns, distant galaxies, whispering their timeless secrets across the void. Feel the air, cool, crisp, clean, carrying, perhaps, the faint scent of pine, or night blooming jasmine, or simply the clean scent of vast open space. Breathe it in, this clear night air, feeling it cleanse, refresh, deepen your peace. Maybe there is soft earth beneath you, cool grass, or ancient stone supporting you, grounding you, connecting you to the deep, quiet wisdom of the planet. Feel that connection, that sense of belonging here beneath the infinite sky. Notice the quality of the silence. It is not an empty silence, but one that is deeply alive, resonant, filled with the subtle music of the spheres, perhaps the hum of existence itself. A silence that listens, a silence that holds, a silence that heals. The moonlight, perhaps, casts long soft shadows, painting the world in tones of silver and deep blue, not a harsh light, but a gentle luminescence, revealing the beauty in softened forms, in quiet mysteries. This is your sanctuary. Tonight, this vast, peaceful space beneath the witnessing stars, a place where thoughts can drift like faraway clouds, where feelings can flow like gentle streams, and where the soul can simply be open, receptive, held in the heart of the quiet universe. Feel yourself fully present in this starlit landscape, body deeply relaxed, breath slow and easy, mind quiet, spacious, aware of the infinite sky above, the solid earth beneath, the peaceful silence all around and within, ready to descend just a little deeper now into the heart of reflection, breathing in the starlight, breathing out peace, resting in this sacred midnight space, resting here beneath the infinite sky, held in the quiet majesty of the starlit night, allow your awareness to gather once more around the gentle rhythm of your breath, feeling it perhaps even softer now, deeper, quieter. Each inhale drawing the cool, clear night air deep into your being, bathing every cell in stillness, in peace. Each exhale a complete release, a letting go, sinking further into the profound comfort of this moment. Allow the breath to be your guide. Now, as we gently deepen this state of rest, imagine before you, illuminated by the soft glow of distant stars and perhaps a gentle moon, a pathway unfolds. It might be a path of soft earth or worn flagstones, or perhaps simply woven starlight leading gently downwards, inviting you on a quiet journey deeper into tranquility, deeper into the heart of yourself. If it feels right, allow yourself to begin moving along this path, perhaps taking soft, slow, weightless steps, or maybe simply floating, drifting effortlessly downwards. Feel the gentle slope beneath your feet or beneath your awareness, guiding you easily, naturally down. With each step or each moment of drifting, allow the breath to deepen the release, inhaling starlight, stillness, exhaling, sinking, softening, letting go, down. Then the starlit path descends, perhaps winding gently through a quiet grove or down the soft slope of a sleeping hill. Notice the quality of the light, soft, silvery, ancient. It illuminates the path just enough, creating a feeling of profound safety, mystery, and peace. The air around you, cool, still, carrying perhaps a hint of otherworldly fragrance. Deeper and deeper, you drift down the starlit path, down the gentle hill, feeling gravity not as a pull, but as a loving embrace, drawing you down into the heart of stillness, releasing all effort, all holding. Or perhaps, instead of a path, you sense clouds, soft, luminous clouds, gathering beneath you like banks of moonlit snow, and you feel yourself becoming lighter, more ethereal, beginning to sink gently, slowly into their soft embrace, sinking down through layers of soft, peaceful cloud, each layer carrying you deeper into relaxation, deeper into quiet, deeper into trance, feeling utterly supported, weightless, held as you descend through softness, through peace, towards the core of your own still being. Whether walking the starlit path, descending the gentle hill, or sinking through luminous clouds, the feeling is the same. A deepening, a releasing, a letting go into profound safety, profound peace, profound stillness. Allow your breath to guide this descent, each exhale taking you further down, deeper in, slower, softer, deeper. Now letting go completely, trusting the journey, trusting the stillness, trusting yourself, deeper and deeper, resting profoundly now. Reflection 1. Plato's allegory of the cave doubts are shadows, not reality. Resting here, so deeply now, floating perhaps in that starlit quiet, or sinking into profound stillness. Allow the thinking mind to remain soft, receptive, like fertile earth ready to receive a gentle seed of contemplation. Thousands of years ago, wise souls pondered the nature of reality, the way we perceive the world, and ourselves. One such soul, Plato, offered a powerful image, a metaphor that echoes still through the corridors of time. He spoke of a cave. Imagine, if you will, not with effort, but with soft curiosity, a deep cavern within the earth, or perhaps deep within the landscape of the mind itself. And within this cave, imagine beings who have lived there, always facing a wall, gently bound, perhaps not by chains of iron, but by chains of perception, chains of habit, unable to turn their heads. Behind them, unseen, unknowable to them, a fire burns, casting a soft, flickering light, and between the fire and their backs, objects pass by, figures move, casting shadows onto the wall they face. For these beings, these gentle prisoners of perspective, the shadows are reality, flickering shapes, dancing gray forms, voices echoing strangely off the cave wall. This is the only world they have ever known. They analyze the shadows, predict their movements, give them names, believe utterly in their substance, their truth. Allow your own body to rest deeply, feeling the unwavering support beneath you, breathing softly, easily. Let this image unfold gently in your awareness without needing to grasp it fully, just sensing its atmosphere. Now, consider gently the nature of self doubt, those thoughts that whisper, I am not enough, or I will fail, or I am unworthy. Those feelings of inadequacy, fear, insecurity that sometimes cling like damp moss. What if these doubts, these critical thoughts, these limiting beliefs are like those shadows dancing on the inner wall of your mind? They flicker, they shift, they can seem so solid, so convincing, so real. We become accustomed to them. We chain ourselves softly, unknowingly, to facing only them, believing their flickering dance is the fundamental truth of who we are. Breathing in, stillness. Breathing out, attachment. Just letting go, softly. These shadow doubts, where do they come from? Plato's allegory suggests they are cast by something else, something behind us, perhaps. Old experiences, maybe misinterpreted, solidified into belief, hurtful words, spoken long ago, echoing, still, cultural messages, absorbed unconsciously, fears, projected onto the future. These things, like the objects moving behind the prisoners, cast the shadows we mistake for ourselves. In the fire, in the allegory, what might that represent within us? Perhaps it is the energy of our own awareness, our own attention. When we focus intensely on the doubts, when we pour our emotional energy into believing them, we inadvertently make the shadows sharper, darker, more persistent. We feed the fire that casts them onto the wall. Feel the deep peace that underlies even these thoughts. Rest in the awareness that perceives. Allow your shoulders to soften even more. Plato imagined what might happen if one prisoner were gently released, allowed, perhaps encouraged to turn around. At first, the fire itself would be blinding, painful, overwhelming. The reality of the objects casting the shadows, confusing, disorienting. Prisoner might resist, might want to turn back to the familiar comfort, however limited, of the shadow world. Does this feel familiar? That moment when you question a long held doubt, when you dare to consider that perhaps I am worthy or I am capable. Sometimes that first glimmer of self compassion or self belief can feel uncomfortable, unfamiliar. The mind might resist, might pull back towards the old, familiar shadows of self criticism. Allow yourself to be gentle with this process. Awareness unfolds in its own time, like eyes adjusting slowly to the light. There is no need to force, only to allow the possibility of turning gently. Imagine turning your inner gaze softly away from the flickering shadows of self doubt, turning towards the gentle light of your own true nature, the awareness that is watching, the part of you that exists beneath the thoughts, beneath the beliefs, beneath shadows, the quiet, unchanging presence that simply is. This presence, this core awareness, is not defined by the shadows. It is the space in which the shadows appear, just as the cave wall is not the shadow itself. It is merely the surface upon which the shadow flickers. Your true self is the vast, quiet space, the awareness, untouched, unharmed, inherently whole, regardless of what shadows dance upon the screen of the mind. Breathing into this knowing, breathing into the quiet space that you are exhaling, the illusion that the shadows define you. Self doubt is a shadow. It seems real, it feels potent, that it is a projection cast by other things. It is not the fundamental reality of your being. The reality of your being is vast, peaceful, inherently worthy, like the clear sky outside the cave, waiting always, whether you realize it now or later, perhaps in dreams or upon waking. This inner strength, this core awareness, this reality beyond the shadows continues to reside within you, untouched, perfect, whole. Rest in this knowing now. Allow the shadows of doubt flicker if they must, but recognize them for what they are, just shadows passing within the infinite, peaceful space that is your true self. Resting beyond the shadows in the quiet light of awareness, deeply, peacefully, resting. Reflection 2. Stoicism. Events are external. Your choice of response is internal strength. A comment sharing the phrase that gently shifted your perception as a gift to yourself and to others who may find comfort in your reflection. Reflection 2. Stoicism. Events are external. Your choice of response is internal strength. Resting deeply beyond the flickering shadows, perhaps sensing that quiet, luminous space of awareness that remains untouched. From this place of stillness, let us gently consider the wisdom offered by those ancient souls known as the Stoics, thinkers like Epictetus, born a slave, rising to profound insight, and Marcus Aurelius, an emperor seeking inner peace amidst the weight of the world. 2. Sought freedom, not from the world's challenges, but within them. They observed, with gentle clarity, that much of our suffering, much of our self doubt, arises not directly from events themselves, but from our judgments about those events, our interpretations, our stories, our reactions. Imagine the world outside you, like the weather, sometimes sunny, sometimes stormy, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent. There are events, actions of others, words spoken, circumstances unfolding, much like the rain, the wind, the shifting clouds. These things, Stoics suggested, are largely outside our direct control. They are externals, neutral in and of themselves. Allow your breath to be slow, deep, calm, anchoring you in this present moment, feeling the simple reality of breathing. This breath happening now is within your experience. Feel the unwavering support beneath you, also within your immediate experience. Where then does our power lie? Where is our freedom? Not, they proposed, in trying to command the weather, to stop the rain, or calm the wind. Our true power, our unshakable freedom, resides within. It lies in our capacity to choose our response, to choose our interpretation, to manage our inner world, regardless of the outer weather. Consider self-doubt when it arises. Often it is triggered by an external event, perhaps criticism, or a perceived failure, or a comparison to others. The event itself is like a passing storm cloud. It happens, it is external, but the meaning we give it, the story we tell ourselves about it, this proves I am not good enough, or I will never succeed. That story, that judgment, arises from within, and that is where our choice, our strength, resides. Feel your own inner space, that quiet awareness that observes both the outer event and the inner reaction. This awareness is like an inner citadel, a sanctuary deep within that external storms cannot breach unless we grant them entry through our judgments. Can you find that quiet center within you now? That place that simply watches, that simply is, beneath the flow of thoughts, beneath the waves of emotion, breathing into that center, feeling its inherent stillness, its resilience. This is your inner citadel, your place of true strength. When doubt whispers, triggered by something external, you can gently recognize there is the external event, like rain falling, and here is my inner response, my thought about the rain, my feeling about being wet. The rain itself, I cannot control, but my response to it, my judgment about it, that holds the space for choice. Do I choose to believe the doubting thought, to let it define me, to give it power over my inner peace? Or do I choose to acknowledge it as simply a thought, a familiar shadow, perhaps arising in response to the external, and then gently choose a different response, a response rooted in self-compassion, rooted in acceptance, rooted in the quiet knowing of my own inherent worth, which exists independent of external events or opinions. This choice is your sovereign power, your internal strength. It is always available in every moment between the stimulus and the response. There lies this sacred pause, this space for conscious choice, for inner freedom, allowing your body to soften even more, releasing any subtle bracing against the world, trusting in this inner capacity to meet life wisely, calmly. This doesn't mean suppressing feelings or pretending challenges don't exist. The Stoics embraced reality fully, but they differentiated between accepting what happens and accepting the initial, often unhelpful judgments about what happens. We can feel sadness, disappointment, frustration. These are natural responses, but we can choose not to layer onto them judgments of failure, inadequacy, or hopelessness. We can choose to meet the feeling with awareness, compassion, and a quiet resolve rooted in our inner citadel. Whether you realize this strength fully now, in this moment of deep rest, or whether it unfolds gently in the days to come. Know that this capacity for wise response, this inner sanctuary, resides within you always. It is not something you need to build, but something uncover, to remember, to inhabit more fully. So rest now, feeling that quiet, unshakable strength at your core, knowing that whatever weather patterns move through the outer world or even through your inner world, your true self, your power of choice, your peaceful center remains constant, resilient, free, resting in your inner citadel, breathing with quiet strength, peaceful, centered, free. Reflection 3. Descartes' methodic doubt. Doubt proves thinking, thinking proves existence, and existence itself is unshakable. Resting in that quiet center, that inner sanctuary, where the choice of response offers freedom, feeling the gentle strength that resides there, independent of the outer world sips, shifting weather. From this place of deepening stillness, perhaps we can allow an even more profound questioning to arise, a questioning inspired by thinkers like Descartes, who dared to doubt everything, not out of fear, but out of a profound desire to find an unshakable foundation for truth, for reality. Imagine, if you will, sitting quietly, perhaps by a soft fire, late at night, the world outside asleep, the senses quiet, and allowing the possibility, the question, to gently form: how do I know that anything is real? Allow your own body to remain deeply relaxed, heavy, peaceful. This questioning is gentle, held within the safety of profound rest, simply observing the thought experiment unfolding. Descartes wondered, could my senses be deceiving me? Have they not tricked me before? Things appearing different from afar, illusions of water on a hot road, even the feeling of my own body resting here. Could this be part of an elaborate dream? Have I not had dreams that felt utterly real, indistinguishable from waking life? How can I be absolutely certain that this moment, right now, is not such a dream? He even imagined a possibility more radical still. What if some powerful, unseen intelligence was actively deceiving me, projecting this entire reality into my awareness, doubting everything, the evidence of the senses, the reality of the physical world, even the truths of simple mathematics, pushing doubt to its absolute limit, seeking just one thing, one single point that could not possibly be doubted. Feel your own breath, slow and steady, a quiet rhythm beneath these profound questions. Allow any feelings of uncertainty to simply be held in the vast space of awareness. And in the depths of this methodical doubt, a glimmer of light appears, a turning point. He noticed that even if he doubted everything, even if he was being deceived, even if he was dreaming, there was one thing he could not doubt: the fact that he was doubting. The very act of doubting is a form of thinking, whether the thoughts are true or false, whether they reflect reality or illusion. The thinking itself is undeniably happening, and if there is thinking, there must be a thinker, an awareness, a consciousness that is performing the act of thinking, of doubting. Cogito, ergo sum. The famous phrase echoes, I think, therefore I am. Or perhaps more accurately, thinking is occurring, therefore existence is. The very presence of thought, even the thought of doubt, proves the existence of the consciousness in which the thought appears. Let this simple, profound realization settle gently within you, like finding solid bedrock beneath shifting sands. Now, let us bring this insight gently to the nature of self-doubt. When the thought arises, I am not good enough, or I doubt my abilities, or I am unworthy, notice first that thinking is happening, doubting is happening, and therefore you, the consciousness experiencing this thought, undeniably exist. The content of the doubt, the story it tells, Yosa, I am not good enough. That might be like the shadows on Plato's cave wall, that might be an illusion, a false perception, a learned belief, open to questioning, open to doubt itself. We can doubt the truth, self-critical thought. But the fact that you are aware of the doubt, the fact that consciousness is present, experiencing this thought that cannot be doubted, your fundamental existence, your core awareness, the simple, profound reality of I am, is the one unshakable truth revealed even by the very presence of doubt itself. Feel into that now, beneath the shifting thoughts, beneath the fluctuating emotions, beneath the stories of self. There is this fundamental ground of simply being, awareness, existing. This core existence doesn't depend on your achievements, your qualities, your successes, or failures. It doesn't depend on what others think. It doesn't even depend on what you think about yourself. It simply is. Allow yourself to rest in this fundamental awareness, this unshakable ground of your own existence. Let it be your ultimate sanctuary. Feel its inherent peace, its quiet strength, its simple reality. Self-doubts may arise like clouds passing through this vast sky of awareness. Acknowledge them, perhaps, but know that they are the clouds, not the sky. Your true nature, this core existence, this I am presence, remains untouched, clear, boundless, peaceful, always. Resting as this fundamental awareness, knowing your existence as the one undeniable truth, the bedrock beneath all shifting experience, profoundly peaceful, inherently whole, simply being, unshakable awareness, resting in itself, peacefully, deeply. Now, reflection 4. Nietzsche sits amor fati, embracing even flaws and struggles as necessary parts of greatness, resting in that fundamental awareness, that quiet, undeniable truth of simply being, the unshakable ground beneath all thoughts, all feelings, all experiences. From this place of core existence, let us gently consider the nature of this existence in its fullness, its totality. The philosopher Nietzsche spoke of amor fati, a Latin phrase meaning love of fate, not a passive resignation to whatever happens, but something far more profound, far more courageous, a deep, unconditional, loving acceptance of everything that has been, everything that is, and everything that will be. Imagine being able to look upon your entire life, the whole tapestry, woven with threads of light and shadow, joy and sorrow, success and struggle, strength and vulnerability, and saying with your whole being a gentle yet powerful yes, yes to all of it. Allow your breath to deepen slightly, breathing in acceptance, breathing out resistance, softening around the edges of judgment. How often does self-doubt arise precisely from focusing on the perceived flaws, the mistakes made, the struggles endured, the parts of ourselves or our history that we wish were different? We judge these aspects, label them bad, wrong, not good enough, and from this judgment, doubt casts its long shadow, whispering that because of these things, we are somehow incomplete, unworthy, flawed at our core. But what if Nietzsche's Amor Fati invites a different perspective? What if these very flaws, these struggles, these perceived imperfections are not mistakes in the grand design, but necessary threads, essential colors in the unique masterpiece that is your life? Consider the pearl born from the irritation of a grain of sand. Within the oyster, the grit, the discomfort becomes the catalyst for beauty, or the ancient tree shaped by wind, scarred by storms, gaining character, strength, resilience, precisely because of the challenges it has weathered. What if your own struggles, your own scars, are not signs of weakness, but testament to your resilience, your journey, the source of your unique depth, your compassion, your wisdom? Feel your body resting peacefully. Allow a gentle wave of acceptance to wash over you. Acceptance for this body, just as it is. Acceptance for this mind, just as it is. Acceptance for this life journey, just as it has unfolded. Amor Fati suggests embracing even the difficult parts, not because they were pleasant, but because they were necessary. Necessary to shape you, to teach you, to forge the unique being you are in this very moment. To wish away the struggles is to wish away strength born from them. To regret the perceived flaws is to deny the character they have carved. Can you allow a gentle appreciation, perhaps for the entire journey, even the parts that felt like detours or dead ends, recognizing that every step, every experience has contributed to the intricate pattern, the profound mystery that is you? This embrace, this loving acceptance of what is has a transformative power when we stop resisting our past, our flaws, our present circumstances, when we stop judging them as wrong or insufficient. Their power to cause suffering diminishes. Self-doubt, often fueled by this comparison, this judgment, this resistance, begins to lose its fuel, its sting. It is not about saying that pain was good, but about recognizing its role, its necessity within the whole. It is about trusting the larger wisdom of life's unfolding, even when it feels challenging or incomprehensible. It is about finding peace, not by changing past or demanding a perfect future, but by embracing the totality of the present moment, including all the echoes of what has been. Breathing into this acceptance, feeling it settle deep within your bones, your heart, letting go of the war against yourself, against your history, allowing a quiet truce, a gentle peace to emerge. Perhaps true greatness lies not in achieving some flawless ideal, but in the courage to embrace our flawed, beautiful, complex humanity completely, to love our fate, to love ourselves unconditionally. That is a profound act of inner freedom, a quiet rebellion against the shadows of self-doubt. So rest now in this gentle possibility of amor fati, of loving what is, letting a quiet yes resonate within your being. Yes to the journey. Yes to the challenges. Yes to the flaws. Yes to the unique, unfolding miracle that is you, feeling the quiet strength, the profound peace that arises from this radical acceptance, this loving embrace of your own totality, resting in acceptance, embracing the whole, finding peace in the necessary dance of shadow and light, deeply, peacefully, resting now. Reflection 5. Cant on self respect. Treat yourself as an end in itself, inherently worthy, resting in that courageous embrace of your whole story, the light and the shadow woven together, finding peace, perhaps in the loving acceptance of all that is, all that has been. From this place of profound self acceptance, let us gently turn our awareness towards the very nature of your own being, your intrinsic value. The philosopher Immanuel Kant offered a powerful principle often applied to how we treat others, but perhaps holding profound wisdom when turned gently inwards towards ourselves. He suggested that rational beings, conscious beings, possess an inherent dignity and intrinsic worth simply by virtue of their existence, their capacity for awareness, for reason, for choice. And because of this inherent dignity, we should always treat ourselves and others as an end in ourselves, never merely as a means to some other end. Allow your breath to flow softly, easily. Consider this gently, treating yourself as an end in itself. What does that truly feel like? So often, the voice of self doubt treats us as a means, doesn't it? It whispers, "You are only worthy if you achieve this," or "You are only valuable for what you can produce or provide," or "You are only acceptable when you fix these flaws, become different, become better." It measures our worth based on external outcomes, achievements, approval, using the self merely as a tool to reach some other goal, judging its effectiveness constantly, often harshly. But Kant's insight invites a radical shift. It suggests your worth, your fundamental value, is not contingent. It is not earned through striving, through perfecting, through achieving. It is inherent. It is intrinsic. It exists simply because you exist as a center of awareness, a conscious being experiencing this moment. Feel into that possibility. Now, allow the gentle weight of your body resting here to remind you of your simple, profound existence. This awareness, listening now, feeling now, breathing now, this is the source of your inherent dignity, your unshakable worth. Imagine deep within your core a quiet, luminous flame or a flawless, unbreakable diamond. This represents your intrinsic value, your essential being. It cannot be diminished by mistakes. It cannot be tarnished by perceived flaws. It cannot be increased by external success. It simply is radiant, whole, complete, eternally. Self-doubt, self-criticism, treating yourself harshly is like overlooking this inner diamond, focusing only on the dust or the flaws in the setting. It fails to recognize the inherent preciousness that lies within. It treats the sacred self merely as a means to an unattainable ideal of perfection. What if self-respect, true self-respect, arises naturally from recognizing and honoring this inherent worth? What if self-compassion treating yourself with kindness, patience, understanding, especially during times of struggle, is not an indulgence, but a profound way of honoring your own intrinsic dignity, a gentle duty, perhaps born not of obligation, but of reverence for the miracle of your own being. Allow your breath to deepen gently, breathing in, perhaps imagining you are breathing into that inner light, that diamond core, acknowledging its presence, its radiance. Breathing out, releasing any thoughts, any beliefs that treat yourself as less than inherently worthy, letting go of using yourself merely as a means. When self-doubt whispers, perhaps you can meet it now, not by arguing or resisting, but by gently returning your awareness to this fundamental truth of your own inherent worth. Even with this doubt present, you might softly affirm, my core being remains whole, worthy, deserving of respect, deserving of kindness, simply because I exist. This doesn't mean ignoring areas for growth or becoming complacent, but it means that growth arises not from a place of fundamental lack or unworthiness, but from a place of honoring the inherent potential already within you, seeking to express that inner light more fully, more authentically, out of self-love, self-reverence, rather than self-rejection. Feel this sense of inherent dignity settle within you, a quiet strength, a gentle confidence that does not depend on anything external. It is the peace of knowing your own true value, not as something to be earned, but as something that simply is your birthright, as a conscious being resting now in this profound self-respect, this gentle reverence for the miracle of your own existence, treating yourself as sacred ground, inherently worthy, complete, just as you are, allowing this feeling to soothe away the foundations of self-doubt, replacing them with the unshakable bedrock of intrinsic value, worthy, complete, peaceful, resting deeply now. Reflection 6. Sartre, Freedom and Choice. You define yourself anew every day. Past doubts don't control you. Resting in that profound recognition of your own inherent worth, that quiet dignity that exists simply because you are, untouched by circumstance, independent of achievement, simply being. From this ground of inherent value, let us explore a radical perspective offered by thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre, a perspective on freedom, absolute, inescapable freedom. He suggested that unlike objects which have a predefined purpose, a fixed essence, human consciousness exists first and only then, through choices, actions, responses, defines its essence moment by moment by moment. What does this mean for the doubts that cling to the past, the echoes of mistakes, the ghosts of former selves, the narratives that say, because I failed then, I will fail now, or because I was hurt before, I am permanently damaged? Sartre's insight whispers a liberating truth. You are not defined by your past. You are not bound by previous choices or old identities. Those were moments, choices made then, experiences lived then, but now, in this present moment, you exist, radically free to choose anew. Allow your breath to be a symbol of this constant newness. Each inhale, a fresh beginning. Each exhale, releasing the moment just past, letting it go completely. Feel the freedom in this simple rhythm, the constant opportunity to begin again right now. Imagine yourself standing, perhaps, in a vast, open field under the quiet night sky. The path behind you dissolves into mist, the path ahead unwritten, shimmering with possibility. In this moment, you are pure potential, pure presence, pure freedom. You are not the footsteps that led you here. You are the conscious awareness, choosing the next step or choosing simply to stand, to breathe, to be. Self-doubt often tries to weave chains from the past, binding you to old stories, old limitations. But from this perspective, those chains are illusions, echoes given power only by current belief, by current choice. In this moment, you are free to choose a different thought, a different response, a different way of relating to yourself. Feel the weight of your body resting, supported, and sense, perhaps, the lightness that arises with this feeling of freedom, the release from the burden of carrying the entire past, recognizing that who you were yesterday or a moment ago does not dictate who you are right now or who you are becoming. Even the feeling of being bound by doubt when examined reveals choice. Do I choose to believe this doubt? Do I choose to identify with it? Or do I choose to acknowledge it as a passing thought, an old echo, and gently place my awareness elsewhere, on my breath, on the feeling of peace, on my inherent worth? That choice, that subtle shift of attention, is an act of profound freedom. This freedom can feel daunting. Perhaps Sartre called it a condemnation to be free because it places responsibility squarely within us. But here, in this space of deep rest, let us feel only its liberating aspect, the freedom from the tyranny of the past, freedom to define ourselves with kindness, compassion, wisdom. In this present moment, letting go of the old stories, the limiting definitions, allowing yourself to be undefined, open, free, resting in the spaciousness of pure potential, knowing that in every moment you begin anew. Past doubts have no power over the free awareness that you are right now, breathing into freedom, resting as boundless potential, peaceful, light, unbound. Reflection 7. Heraclitus, flow and becoming. Doubt passes like a river. Nothing is fixed. Everything moves toward growth. Resting in that spacious freedom, the quiet knowing that each moment offers a new beginning, unbound by the past. And from this freedom, let us now contemplate the nature of reality itself as perceived by the ancient sage Heraclitus. He saw the universe not as a collection of fixed things, but as a constant, dynamic flow. Panta re, he whispered, everything flows. Nothing is static. All is becoming. He famously said, you cannot step into the same river twice, for it is not the same river, and you are not the same person. Everything is in flux, constantly changing, shifting, evolving, like the waters of a river, forever moving. Allow your breath to embody this flow. Feel the inhale arising, swelling, reaching its peak, and the exhale releasing, dissolving, fading away, a continuous cycle of arising and passing, appearing and disappearing, just like the river's current, just like perhaps thoughts, feelings, even doubts. What if self-doubt is simply part of this flow? a current within the vast river of consciousness. It arises, perhaps strongly. For a time, it colors the water. Maybe it creates turbulence, but it is still just water, flowing, moving, changing. It is not a fixed rock, not a permanent dam. It is part of the river's journey, part of the process of becoming. Heraclitus saw fire as the fundamental element, symbolizing this constant change, this transformation. Imagine doubt not as a heavy weight, but as energy, perhaps even like fire. It can feel destructive, consuming, but fire also purifies, transforms, clears the way for new growth. What if the arising of doubt is simply energy moving through you, seeking transformation, seeking integration, seeking release back into the flow? Feel your body resting like the riverbed, allowing the currents of thought, feeling sensation to flow over and through you without resistance. The riverbed remains fundamentally unchanged by the water that passes. Your core awareness, too, remains unchanged by the thoughts and feelings that flow through it. When we try to hold on to a particular state, to grasp certainty, to eliminate doubt completely, it is like trying to stop the river. We create dams, stagnant pools, inner conflict. But when we embrace the flow, when we accept that everything changes, including our thoughts, our feelings, our doubts, we find a different kind of peace, peace within the flow, not in opposition to it. Allow yourself to feel like that flowing river right now, letting thoughts of doubt arise, noticing them, perhaps as eddies or ripples on the surface, and then letting them flow onward, downstream, without clinging, without resisting, trusting current. This doesn't mean being passive. It means aligning with the natural movement towards growth, towards change. The river always flows towards the larger ocean, towards wholeness. Perhaps even the arising of doubt is part of that journey, prompting reflection, prompting deeper inquiry, ultimately moving you towards greater understanding, greater self-awareness, greater peace. Trust the flow. Trust the process of becoming. Nothing is fixed, especially not doubt. It arises, it crests, it passes, and beneath it all, the river of your being continues to flow onward towards the sea, towards unity, towards peace, resting now as the gentle flow, letting go of the need for permanence, embracing the dance of becoming, feeling the quiet peace that arises from aligning with the ever-changing, ever-flowing river of life, flowing peacefully, effortlessly, becoming, resting now. Reflection 8. Rumi, the guest house of emotions. Doubt, fear, hope, joy, all are visitors. You are the house, not the guests. Welcome them and let them pass through. Imagine your awareness, your inner space, as this welcoming house, standing open, ready to receive. And each day, each moment perhaps, different visitors arrive unexpectedly at your door. From this place of fluid acceptance, let us consider another image, another perspective offered by the mystic poet Rumi. He imagined this human being, this heart, this awareness as a guest house, every morning a new arrival, resting in that gentle flow, the ever-becoming river of existence. feeling perhaps a quiet peace in letting go of fixed states, allowing everything to simply move, change, transform. Sometimes joy arrives, bright, effervescent, filling the rooms with light. Other times, a dark thought, depression, or meanness knocks heavily, and sometimes the visitor is doubt, arriving perhaps with hesitant steps, or maybe barging in, full of criticism and fear. Rumi's radical invitation is to welcome all of them. Greet each guest at the door, laughing, perhaps, or at least with quiet recognition. Invite them in, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. He wrote, still, treat each guest honorably. Allow your breath to be soft, hospitable, with each inhale, creating space within the guest house. With each exhale, releasing any urge to lock the door or hide from the arrivals. Imagine inviting doubt in for a moment, offering it, metaphorically, a seat, not allowing it to take over the entire house, to rearrange the furniture permanently, but simply acknowledging its presence as a temporary guest, listening, perhaps, to its story, its fear, its underlying message without becoming the story, without believing its pronouncements are the ultimate truth. What does this mean for self-doubt? That familiar visitor, perhaps unwelcome, yet persistent, can we meet it at the door of awareness, not with fear, not with resistance, not with immediate belief, but simply with acknowledgement? Ah, doubt, you are here. I see you. Feel your body resting peacefully. This welcoming is an inner gesture, a softening of resistance. You remain the host, the house, observing the guest. When we identify with the doubt, when we believe, I am doubt or I am unworthy, it is like mistaking ourselves for the guest, forgetting that we are the spacious, welcoming host, the enduring structure that holds the experience. Breathing into the spaciousness of the guest house, breathing out identification with any single guest, feeling yourself as the calm, aware space that contains all. The key insight shimmering within Rumi's metaphor is this: you are the guest house, not the guests. The thoughts, the feelings, the doubts, the joys, they arrive, they stay for a while, and then they depart. They are transient, flowing through like the river we contemplated. But you, the awareness, the space in which they appear, you remain. The house stands regardless of who visits. And Rumi offers another layer, a deeper mystery. He suggests each guest may be clearing you out for some new delight. Perhaps even the dark thought, the shame, the malice, the doubt arrives with a hidden purpose. Maybe doubt arrives to sweep away false certainties, shaky foundations, clearing the ground for a deeper, more authentic knowing to emerge. Maybe fear arrives to show you where courage is needed. Maybe sorrow arrives to soften the heart, opening it to profound compassion. So perhaps we can practice this gentle hospitality within ourselves, meeting the arrival of self-doubt with quiet awareness. Welcome, doubt. I see you are here today, breathing, allowing its space, noticing its texture, its feeling, without fusing with it, trusting that it is a visitor passing through, perhaps even carrying a hidden gift or clearing the way for greater self-trust. greater peace to arrive tomorrow, or perhaps in the very next moment, treating each guest honorably, welcoming them, listening briefly, allows them, perhaps, to deliver their hidden message, fulfill their clearing purpose, and then move on. Resistance, fighting, trying to barricade the door might only make them linger longer, pound louder, demand more attention. Resting now as the spacious guest house, doors open, heart open, welcoming all that arises, knowing that you are the awareness, the stillness, the host, and all else is just passing through, finding profound peace in this radical welcome, this gentle non-resistance. You are the house, welcoming, spacious, peaceful, resting deeply now. Reflection 9. Carl Jung. The shadow as treasure. Within the rejected, doubted parts of ourselves lies hidden strength. What you fear to face often holds your greatest potential, resting as that spacious guest house, welcoming all visitors, thoughts, feelings, doubt itself, allowing them to simply arrive and pass through, finding peace, perhaps, in that gentle non-resistance. From this place of quiet allowance, let us gently turn our gaze towards those visitors. We often try not to welcome the parts of ourselves we keep hidden, perhaps even from our own awareness, the aspects we judge, reject, fear. The psychologist Carl Jung spoke of this as the shadow. Imagine the shadow not necessarily as something dark or evil, but simply as the unconscious, the unknown territory within your own being. It holds all the parts of yourself that you have disowned, repressed, or simply failed to develop, perhaps qualities deemed unacceptable by family, culture, or your own inner critic. Anger, vulnerability, ambition, creativity, sensuality, parts pushed away into the shadows because they felt unsafe or unworthy. Allow your breath to be soft, compassionate, breathing into the very idea of these hidden parts without judgment, simply acknowledging their potential existence deep within. Feel the safety of this resting space, allowing gentle curiosity. Self-doubt so often takes root precisely in relation to these shadow aspects. We doubt the parts of ourselves we don't fully know or accept. We fear what might happen if these rejected parts were seen or expressed. The inner critic often acts as the guardian of the shadow, projecting fear and doubt to keep these aspects safely locked away in the darkness. But Jung offered a profound insight, a revolutionary perspective. He suggested that within this very shadow, within these rejected, doubted, feared parts, lies immense energy, vitality, creativity, authenticity, hidden treasure. He famously said, "The gold is in the dark." What if the very things you doubt most about yourself hold the key to your greatest strengths, your deepest potential? That sensitivity you sometimes judge as weakness, perhaps it holds profound empathy, intuition, artistic depth. That flicker of anger you try to suppress, maybe it contains boundary setting clarity, life force, the energy to create change. That vulnerability you fear showing, perhaps it is the gateway to true intimacy, courage, and connection. Allow your body to soften deeply. Feel the gentle support beneath you, holding you as you contemplate this possibility. that what you fear holds your gold. The journey towards wholeness, Jung suggested, is not about eliminating the shadow that is impossible and undesirable, for it contains too much vital energy, too much potential. The journey is about integration, gently, courageously, turning towards the shadow, bringing its contents into the light of conscious awareness, not with judgment, but with curiosity, compassion, acceptance. Imagine walking slowly into that inner cave we visited earlier, but this time carrying a soft lantern, the light of your own awareness, not to expose harshly, but to gently illuminate the hidden corners, to see what resides there, perhaps finding not monsters, but lost parts of yourself, waiting patiently to be seen, acknowledged, welcomed back into the whole. This integration is like alchemy, the process of turning lead into gold, the heavy, dense energy of repressed fears, doubts, and rejected qualities, when met with conscious awareness and acceptance, can be transformed, transmuted into radiant strength, authentic power, creative vitality. Self-doubt begins to lose its power when you stop fighting or fleeing the parts of yourself it points to, when you turn towards the doubted aspect with gentle curiosity, asking, what strength lies hidden here? What potential waits within this fear? What part of my wholeness does this represent? Then the energy shifts, doubt transforms from an accuser into a pointer, guiding you towards deeper self-discovery and integration. Breathing softly into this possibility of finding treasure in the darkness, breathing out the fear of looking within, feeling a sense of gentle courage, quiet curiosity arising. Perhaps you don't need to undertake this integration actively right now, simply resting with the possibility, allowing the intention for wholeness to settle deep within your subconscious mind as you drift towards sleep. Your dreaming self often continues this work, bringing symbols, feelings, insights from the shadow into the light for healing and integration. Trust that process. Rest now, knowing that all of you is worthy. The light and the shadow, the strengths and the perceived flaws, the certainties and the doubts, all are part of the intricate, beautiful tapestry of your unique being. And within the parts you have doubted most may lie your most precious gold, your greatest potential, waiting to be reclaimed, welcomed, integrated into the radiant wholeness that you truly are. Resting in wholeness, embracing all parts, finding strength in the gentle integration of shadow and light, deeply, peacefully, resting now. Reflection 10. Lahozi, also named Tao Te Ching, effortless being. The river does not force its flow, it simply moves. You are most powerful when you stop struggling and allow yourself to be guided, resting in that quiet acceptance of wholeness, embracing both shadow and light, feeling perhaps a deeper integration, a more profound sense of self. From this place of integrated being, let us now contemplate the path of effortless action, the wisdom of non-striving, as illuminated in the ancient teachings of the Tao Te Ching, attributed to the sage Laozi. He observed the universe with profound clarity, noticing the effortless power inherent in nature. The river does not strain to reach the sea, it simply follows the path of least resistance, finding its way naturally, carving canyons over millennia through yielding persistence. The wind does not struggle to blow, it simply moves, arising from stillness, returning to stillness, yet its gentle passage shapes landscapes, carries seeds, changes everything. The plant does not strive anxiously to grow, it simply draws nourishment from earth and sun, unfolding its potential according to its own inner timing, its own innate wisdom. Allow your own breath to become utterly effortless. Now, feeling the body breathe itself without any conscious direction. This natural rhythm is an echo of the Tao, the way, the fundamental intelligence that flows through all things. Trust this effortless rhythm. Laozi spoke of Wu Wei, a concept often translated as non-doing or effortless action. It does not mean passivity or inaction, but rather action that arises spontaneously, harmoniously, from a place of deep alignment with the natural flow of existence. Action without struggle, without force, without egoic striving. Consider now the struggle that often accompanies self-doubt, the internal battle against perceived flaws, the striving to be different, better, more perfect, the forcing of affirmations, the straining for confidence. How much energy is spent in this inner resistance, this swimming against the current of what is? Feel your body resting completely at ease. Allow any subtle residues of striving or struggle to simply dissolve with the exhale, melting away like ice in warm water, leaving only fluidity, ease. What if true strength lies not in forcing, but in yielding, like the reed that bends in the wind and remains unbroken, while the rigid oak may snap? What if profound power arises from aligning yourself with the gentle current of your own being, your own inner wisdom, the natural unfolding of your life? The river finds its way by yielding to the landscape. Water finds its level by seeking the lowest place. In softness, in humility, in non-resistance lies immense power, a quiet strength that force can never achieve. Self-doubt often involves forcing ourselves, trying to fit into molds that are not authentic, trying to achieve goals set by external expectations or inner critics. Wu Wei invites us to release this forcing, to listen deeply within what is arising naturally, what feels aligned, effortless, true. Where does the gentle current of intuition, of inner knowing, wish to guide us? Allowing yourself to be guided requires trust. Trust in the process, trust in the deeper wisdom that flows through life, trust in yourself, your own innate capacity to navigate, to grow, to become. When we release the need to control everything, to force outcomes, a profound ease can enter our being. Self-doubt, which thrives on control and fear of failure, begins to soften, its grip loosening as we learn to trust the flow. Imagine yourself floating gently on a calm, wide river. The water supports you completely. The current carries you effortlessly. There is nothing you need to do but rest, allow, receive, feel the deep peace, the profound release that comes from letting go of the struggle, trusting the river to carry you exactly where you need to go. This is the essence of effortless being, not striving, but aligning, not forcing, but flowing, not controlling, but trusting, finding your greatest power paradoxically, in the quiet surrender to the natural unfolding of existence. Even doubt itself can be met with this effortless awareness, allowing it to arise like a ripple on the water, noticing it without struggling against it, trusting that it too is part of the flow and will eventually pass, moving downstream, leaving the water clear and calm once more. Rest now in this feeling of effortless being, releasing all struggle, all striving, all forcing, allowing yourself to simply be like the river, like the wind, like the unfolding flower, trusting the natural wisdom within you and around you, finding profound strength and deep peace in simply allowing, flowing, being effortless, peaceful, flowing, resting deeply, now, trusting the way. Reflection 11. Viktor Frankl. Meaning in every moment, even in suffering, even in doubt, meaning can be chosen. You are never without the power to find meaning. Resting in that gentle flow, aligning with the effortless unfolding of existence, trusting the quiet wisdom that guides the river to the sea. And within this flow, within this acceptance, lies another layer of profound human experience, the search for meaning. The psychiatrist and philosopher Viktor Frankl, who witnessed and survived unimaginable suffering, discovered a core truth about resilience, about the human spirit. He realized that the primary driving force in humans is not pleasure, not power, but the search for meaning, for purpose, even when all external freedoms are stripped away. Even when faced with profound suffering or deep, gnawing self-doubt, Frankl observed that one freedom always remains the last of the human freedoms, the power to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, the power to choose what meaning we assign to our experience. Allow your breath to be slow and deep. Feel the quiet strength residing in this simple act of conscious breathing. This breath is a choice for presence, for life, a small act of meaning in itself. Feel the unwavering support beneath you, grounding you in this moment. Consider the moments when self-doubt feels overwhelming, like a heavy fog obscuring the path, or when life presents challenges, suffering that seems meaningless, senseless. It is precisely in these moments, Frankl suggests, that our power to find meaning becomes most crucial, most potent. The suffering itself, the doubt itself, may be unavoidable, like the weather, but our response, the meaning we weave from the threads of that experience that remains within our power, this inner freedom can never be taken away. It is the ultimate sanctuary, the unshakable core. How do we find meaning, especially then? Frankl suggested several paths through creative work, expressing our unique gifts, however small, through love, connecting deeply with another being or with humanity, or even with ourselves through profound self-compassion, and perhaps most powerfully, through the attitude we choose towards unavoidable suffering. Can we meet our own self-doubt, our own perceived flaws, our own difficult emotions, not just with resistance or despair, but with courage, with curiosity, with a willingness to learn? Can we find meaning in the very struggle itself? Perhaps the meaning lies in the resilience we are building, the compassion we are deepening, the wisdom we are forging in the very heart of the challenge. Allow your body to rest completely. Feel the gentle warmth, perhaps spreading from your center, a warmth of self compassion, acknowledging the struggle, honoring the journey. Find meaning, perhaps in your own courage, simply for being here, resting, breathing, willing to explore these depths. Self doubt may whisper that meaning is only found in success, in perfection, in external validation. But Frankel's wisdom points elsewhere. Meaning can be found in the quiet dignity with which we face hardship, in the small acts of kindness we offer ourselves, others, in the choice to keep our heart open even when it aches, in the refusal to let suffering extinguish our inner light. This power to choose meaning, to choose our attitude, is an anchor in the stormiest seas. It provides a sense of purpose, a direction, a quiet strength that does not depend on circumstances being easy or pleasant. It is the inner compass that guides us through the fog. So even when doubt clouds the mind, even when suffering touches the heart, remember this inviolable freedom. You are never without the power to find meaning. You are never without the power to choose your response. This capacity is inherent within you, a divine spark that no darkness can truly extinguish. Rest now in the quiet knowing of this profound inner freedom. Feel it as a gentle strength, a resilient peace at the very core of your being, allowing this understanding to become an emotional anchor, grounding you, empowering you, reminding you that even within challenge, purpose can be found, meaning can be created, and your spirit remains fundamentally free, resting in meaning, resting in freedom, resting in quiet strength, profoundly, peacefully. Now, Reflection 12. Alan Watts, The Illusion of the Separate Self. You are not isolated. You are the universe playing at being human. Doubt is a ripple on the surface, not the depths. Resting in that quiet knowing of your inherent freedom, the power to choose meaning, to choose your attitude, even amidst life's unfolding challenges, feeling perhaps a gentle strength residing within that inner core. From this place of inner freedom, let us now gently expand our perspective, wider still, embracing a view offered with playful profundity by thinkers like Alan Watts. He questioned the very foundation of our perceived reality, particularly the idea of a fixed, separate, individual self. What if, he playfully queried, the feeling of being an isolated I, a lonely ego, trapped inside a bag of skin, is fundamentally an illusion, a trick of perception, a social convention, a story we learn and tell ourselves so convincingly that we forget it is just a story. Allow your breath to be soft, boundless. With each inhale, imagine breathing in the awareness of the entire room, the entire night sky. With each exhale, imagine your own edges softening, blurring, gently dissolving into the surrounding space. Watts suggested that fundamentally you are not merely in the universe, you are the universe experiencing itself subjectively through this unique aperture, these senses, this consciousness. You are, perhaps, the entire cosmic ocean, manifesting for a brief, beautiful moment as a unique wave. The wave has its own form, its own journey, its own characteristics, but its fundamental substance is the ocean. It arises from the ocean, exists as the ocean, and dissolves back into the ocean. Feel into this metaphor. Now, the wave, distinct yet inseparable from the water. Can you sense your own distinctness, your unique personality, your life story held within this vaster identity, this connection to the entire flow of existence? What does this mean for self-doubt? Doubt often arises from the perspective of the separate wave, feeling small, isolated, vulnerable, comparing itself to other waves, fearing it is not big enough, strong enough, perfect enough, fearing its eventual crash upon the shore, its dissolution. But if you are fundamentally the ocean, if your true nature is the boundless awareness in which all waves, all experiences arise and fall, then what is there truly to doubt? The ocean does not doubt itself. It simply is vast, deep, powerful, peaceful in its depths. Self-doubt, from this perspective, becomes like a ripple on the surface of the ocean, a temporary disturbance, a fleeting pattern caused by the winds of thought or circumstance. But it cannot affect the profound depth, the immense stillness, fundamental reality of the ocean itself. You, as awareness, are the ocean. Doubt is just a ripple passing through. Allow this feeling of oneness, of interconnectedness, to gently permeate your being. Feel the illusion of separation, softening, dissolving, replaced by a profound sense of belonging. You belong here, not because you have earned it or achieved something, but simply because you are here. You are an expression of the universe itself, as intrinsic, as necessary as the stars, the trees, the breath you are breathing. This realization brings a deep cosmic safety. When the separate self dissolves, what is there left to fear? What is there left to protect? What is there left to doubt? There is only the dance, the play, the unfolding process of the universe expressing itself as this moment, this experience, this awareness. Perhaps the universe is dreaming and you are the dream. Or perhaps you are the universe playing at being human, exploring, learning, feeling, loving. Through this particular form, the labels don't truly matter. What matters is the feeling, the release, the profound peace that comes from letting go of the burden of the separate self and resting in the boundless reality of interconnected being. Breathing gently, feeling yourself expand beyond the body, merging with the room, the night, the cosmos, held within the infinite, safe, belonging whole. Doubt, just a distant ripple on a vast, peaceful ocean, resting as the ocean, resting as the universe, experiencing itself, profoundly peaceful, deeply connected, utterly safe. Now, reflection 13. Hafiz, the small lantern already shining. You think you must grow light, but you already burn. The light within you was never absent, resting as the ocean, as the boundless awareness, feeling the illusion of separation gently dissolve into the vast peace of interconnected being. And within this oneness, this cosmic embrace, let us draw our awareness tenderly, lovingly back towards the intimate mystery of your own heart, your own unique spark. The Sufi poets like the beloved Hafiz, sang ecstatic songs, not just of merging with the divine, but of recognizing the divine already shining brightly within. So often we feel we must strive for worthiness, earn the light, become good enough, grow into radiance. Self doubt whispers that the light is dim or distant or conditional, requiring effort, purification, achievement. We search outwardly or strive inwardly, trying to build what we believe is missing. But what if, Hafiz whispers with a playful wink, you yourself are the beloved? What if the light you seek is the very light you are looking with? What if you carry a small lantern burning brightly deep within your soul and have simply forgotten it was ever lit? Allow your breath to soften completely. Feel the gentle warmth, perhaps residing in the center of your chest, your heart space. Allow this warmth to represent that inner light, that spark that has always been there since the very beginning. You think you must grow light, but dear one, you already burn. This inherent radiance, this spark of pure being, this consciousness listening now, is the light. It was never absent, never extinguished. It may have become obscured, perhaps covered by the dust of old beliefs, clouded by the smoke of fear and doubt, hidden beneath layers of conditioning. But the light itself was never ever lost. Consider the sun. Even when hidden behind the densest clouds, it is still shining. Its light, its warmth, its power remain constant. The clouds simply obscure our perception of the sun. They do not, cannot diminish the sun itself. Self-doubt, limiting beliefs, painful memories, they are like those clouds passing across the inner sky. They can temporarily obscure the felt sense of your inner sun, but they cannot extinguish its eternal flame. Feel into this gentle possibility. What if all the effort, all the striving to become worthy could gently dissolve, replaced by the simple, profound recognition of the worthiness that is already here, the light that already shines? Imagine gently polishing a dusty mirror within your heart, with each soft breath, wiping away a layer of self-doubt, with each gentle exhale, releasing an old belief of inadequacy, noticing as the dust clears the brilliant reflection that was always there, your true essence, luminous, pure, whole, radiating quiet light. This inner lantern does not need to be earned. It is your birthright. It is the very substance of your awareness. Recognizing it, remembering it, is the journey. Self-doubt dissolves, not by fighting the darkness, but by simply turning towards, remembering, resting in the light that you already are. Allow yourself to feel the warmth, the radiance of this inner light. Now, let it fill your heart, expand through your body, softly illuminating every cell. Feel its gentle strength, its quiet peace, its unconditional acceptance. This light loves you exactly as you are. Doubts, flaws, struggles, and all. It embraces your entire being, your entire journey, with profound tenderness. You do not need to become the light. You only need to remember that you are the light. Allow this remembrance to sink deep into your subconscious, into your dreaming mind, reprogramming the old narratives, replacing the shadows of doubt with the gentle, unwavering glow of your own true essence. Rest now, bathed in the soft radiance of your own inherent light, feeling whole, complete, luminous, just as you are. The small lantern, always shining, guiding you gently through the night towards peace, towards home. You are the light, resting within the light, peaceful, radiant. Now, you said already becoming, resting now, perhaps in the echo of that inner light, feeling the boundless expanse of awareness, holding all reflections, all perspectives, gently, peacefully. After such journeying through landscapes of thought and feeling, allow awareness now to simply rest, to settle like soft dust after a gentle breeze, to return to the profound simplicity of just being here now. And within this deep state of quiet presence, perhaps a part of the mind still wonders, am I doing this right? Is anything changing? Am I feeling what I'm supposed to feel? These too are just thoughts, familiar visitors arriving at the guest house door. Greet them softly and let them pass. Because the beautiful truth is that you don't have to do anything to allow change to unfold. In this deep state of rest, this receptive awareness, subtle shifts, profound recalibrations are already occurring beneath the surface, guided by your own innate wisdom, your own deep intention, set simply by being here, resting, listening, allowing. Imagine seeds planted deep in dark, fertile earth. You cannot see the growth happening beneath the surface. You don't need to strive or worry or analyze. You simply provide the right conditions: darkness, quiet, nourishment, rest, and trust the mysterious intelligence within the seed to germinate, to send out roots, to reach for the light in its own perfect time. Allow your breath to be like gentle rain watering these seeds, each slow inhale bringing soft energy, each long exhale releasing any doubt about the process, trusting the quiet work unfolding within. The insights explored, the feelings touched upon, the perspectives shifted are like those seeds settling now into the deep, fertile ground of your subconscious mind. Your conscious effort is no longer needed. The striving mind can rest completely knowing that the deeper intelligence, the gardener of the soul, is tending to this inner landscape gently, wisely, while you simply rest. Feel your body profoundly relaxed, surrendered, perhaps sensing a deeper level of letting go becoming available now. Surrender, not as giving up, but as trusting deeply, allowing yourself to be carried by the gentle current of this peace, like floating effortlessly on a calm, warm river, letting the water hold you, guide you, surrendering the need to understand everything, surrendering the need to control the outcome, surrendering the need to be perfect or fixed or instantly transformed, simply surrendering to this moment, to this breath, to this feeling of deep, quiet peace, allowing whatever is arising to arise, allowing whatever is releasing to release, trusting the unfolding. Whether you feel dramatic shifts or only subtle calm, know that profound work is happening on levels beyond conscious perception. Old patterns related to self-doubt gently dissolving, new pathways of self-compassion, inner strength, quiet confidence being softly illuminated, woven into the fabric of your being. Let your awareness drift, float, allow the boundaries to continue softening, perhaps feeling less like a solid self and more like open space, peaceful awareness through which experience flows like water, like wind, like light. This deep rest is incredibly healing, profoundly restorative. It allows the nervous system to rebalance, the mind to clear, the heart to open, the spirit to reconnect with its source, simply by allowing yourself this time, this space, this gentle surrender. You are facilitating deep and lasting transformation without any effort at all. So let go now, completely surrender fully into the soft darkness, the profound quiet, the loving embrace of this deep healing rest. Trust that all is unfolding perfectly. Trust that change is happening gently, naturally. Trust that you are held, supported, loved exactly as you are, allowing the last vestiges of doing, of trying, of thinking to simply melt away, becoming just presence, just peace, just rest, surrendering deeper and deeper now, held, safe, peaceful, allowing the quiet miracle of effortless becoming to unfold within you, resting, surrendering, trusting the quiet unfolding, deep, deep peace. Approx 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 0 seconds. And vertical bar aiming for substantial duration through pacing and silence. Resting now in this profound peace, this quiet light, this boundless awareness, allowing all reflections, all thoughts, all explorations to gently settle like soft snow on a still landscape. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to understand, only this deep, peaceful presence. Perhaps allowing awareness to drift softly through the body one last time, not with focus, but with gentle acknowledgement, feeling the quiet peace resting in your feet, your ankles, heavy, still, utterly relaxed, sensing the deep calm settled in your legs, your hips, completely surrendered, letting go, held safely, feeling the gentle rhythm of the breath moving softly in the quiet space of your torso, the heart beating slow, steady, peaceful, shoulders melted, arms heavy, hands resting, open, receptive, profoundly still, awareness drifting up through the neck, the face, all features softened, serene, the mind quiet, spacious, like the vast night sky, resting in profound tranquility, the whole body breathing peace, bathed in stillness. And within this deep stillness, perhaps allow these gentle whispers to echo softly, finding their way into the deepest levels of your being, planting seeds of peace and trust. I am safe with what is coming. I receive with no grip, allowing life to flow. Peace unfolds within me naturally. I trust the quiet wisdom guiding me from within. I am awareness, boundless, peaceful, free. Extremely long pause. These words are just echoes pointing towards the deep peace you already inhabit. Let them dissolve, leaving only the feeling, the resonance. Imagine now, perhaps, You are drifting on a wide, calm, moonlit river. The gentle current carries you effortlessly onward. You don't need to steer, you don't need to strive. The river knows the way. It flows inevitably towards the vast, peaceful ocean of deep rest, profound sleep, ultimate unity. Feel yourself held by this current, supported by the water, beneath the gentle gaze of the stars, utterly safe, completely secure, drifting, floating, letting go into the flow. The breath, now almost imperceptible, a soft sigh merging with the silence, the spaces between thoughts widening, lengthening, becoming vast oceans of quiet, allowing yourself to drift further and further now, letting the current carry you gently, softly over the threshold into deep, restorative sleep. You don't need to hold onto awareness any longer. It sups safe to let go completely, safe to surrender into the healing darkness, into the profound peace of sleep. The journey continues on deeper levels. Integration happens, healing unfolds, wisdom blossoms, all while you rest profoundly, peacefully. Use it already becoming effortlessly, naturally, through the simple act of resting, allowing, being. Voice begins to fade even further, becoming almost subconscious, merging with ambient sound, drifting onward, now, floating peacefully, held, safe, secure, deep, deep rest, sleep, now, sleep, peace.